Hello, beautiful Tina Hong. Welcome, everyone. This is our third panelist. I'm so honored to have Tina Hong here. I'm going to introduce her in a few minutes. First, someone mentioned that the last two interviews that I did with the panelists for the Women's Health Forum, that I didn't introduce myself. So I'm going to introduce myself. I am Jackie Castro-Cooper. I am a spiritual being having a human experience. And my work is as a virtual holistic alternative physical therapist. I'm the creator of the self-care, self-love movement. I'm also the author of The Power of Self-Care, Self-Love, a physical therapist guide to evolving into your higher self. And I have also created an online self-treatment video series, which I'm actually going to pop in here because Tina always reminds me to promote it because it's such a great course. So there it is, Back and Neck Pain Relief, the surprising gut and brain connection. All right, so there is me. So now, welcome, Tina. I'm going to introduce you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so Tina Hong is an executive health coach who provides guidance, tools, and strategies for busy professionals who are struggling with weight loss, depression and anxiety, food and substance addictions, high stress, and adrenal fatigue. Her transformational programs include one-on-one coaching, group wellness workshops, and wellness workshop challenges. She's a corporate health and wellness program person as well. So Tina believes that by connecting with one's deeper self in a more intuitive and conscious way, then midlife weight loss and health will turn around permanently, and this is achievable. And so I am so honored to welcome you, Tina. I just love that you and I have become really good friends. I love your whole aura, your mindset, your kindness, and your compassion with all your clients. I've seen you at your best, and let me tell you, I am just so impressed. And that's why I wanted to have you with us for the Women's Health Forum, which is April 21st, as everyone can see there at 6 p.m. Eastern time. You do have to register for the Women's Health Forum. So welcome, Tina. Would you like to say anything?
Yeah. So Jackie, I am so humbled and honored to be here with you. And I just love co-moderating the Power of Self-Care, Self-Love on the Clubhouse app. And it's been such a joy over the last few months because what you're doing is changing the paradigm of taking care of oneself. It's not just going out and getting your manicure done. It's really about deep inner work. And so I'm so grateful for all the inspiration and all the love that you are spreading around the world through Clubhouse and through the work that you're doing. So I'm so grateful and honored to be a part of this. And I'm super honored to be a part of the Women's Health Forum. And I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to be able to answer questions live. So that's what's so exciting. Once someone, a woman registers, then we send you the link later on, and you'll join us that day, and you can actually ask us a question. But there's other people who are in different time zones in different parts of the world, so they won't be able to join us live, but they can register, and then they'll just watch the replay. We will send it to them. All right, so I can't believe this is like the most amazing topic. 3 ninja power moves to radically shift your health during overly demanding times. Perfect. So Tina, tell us, what are these 3 ninja moves?
Yeah, so 3 ninja moves. Okay, so for the last decade, I've been working specifically with midlife professionals, both men and women, to accelerate their weight loss through natural means, through changing their dietary habits, through managing stress and mindset, and also changing their shifting how it's possible, not just in terms of nutrition mechanics, but also the daily habits. And so, the 3 ninja power moves. Number 1, What I found in the last decade of working with midlife busy professionals is that mindful eating is a big challenge, slowing it down. And when you are actually mindfully eating, slowing down your eating habits, digestion begins in your mouth, right? Through your saliva, through breaking down the fibers, breaking down the proteins in your mouth. And most people, when they're in a rush or they're multitasking in front of their computers or eating in their car on the way to work or whatever it might be, eating standing up, that really they have difficulty. There's a direct correlation between good digestive health and actually being able to chew their food in a healthful and slow manner. So slowing it down and putting the fork down between bites. When
Yeah.
you actually are conscientious about putting the fork down between bites, you can actually chew your food and liquefy the food in your mouth before you swallow. That's part of the digestive process. We
Oh
have
my gosh. Love it. Love it. Tina, thank you so much for saying that because,
Mhm,
as you said, the alimentary canal begins in the mouth. And so
mhm,
when you said the word liquefy, you're one of the very few people that I know that actually says that.
mhm,
We must all chew our food until it's liquid before we swallow. And
mhm,
you're right, we're eating in so many different places. We're never even eating in front of sitting down at a table. And when I went to Europe, I noticed that that was a big, huge difference. Like people weren't shoving food into their mouth. They were eating super slow. And like you said, putting their fork down. But what's fascinating is there is evidence-based research now that shows that irritable bowel syndrome, or actually
mhm,
leaky gut as well, is connected to people that are not chewing their food. And I'm definitely one of them,
mhm.
chewing their food until it's liquefied. So leaky gut is directly correlated with. Thank you so much for bringing that up.
Yeah, and it's so true. And you think about seniors or people who have false teeth or implants or in between implants
Yeah.
where they're unable or even just oral health issues, and then they're unable to chew their food. There is a direct correlation with their digestive health. There's no absolutely, it makes sense. If they're not chewing their food, they're actually breaking the lining of their digestive tract, all of that. So the thing is putting the fork down between bites, liquefying the food and chewing your food all the way to liquid paste, and
Mhm.
then swallowing and actually breathing. So most people are racing around, and especially if there's kids involved, there's caretaking involved, they're not conscious of their eating habits. And to actually slow it down and breathe in between bites, and to actually enjoy their food and to savor their food in a slow way is a direct actual impact. If when they can control this, they're able to lose weight just by doing that. That is a major ninja power move. And
Yeah.
all of my clients go through that in the first 30 days of working with me. We talk about mindful eating at every session. And then, okay, ninja power move 2 is I'm going to talk about carbohydrates, refined carbohydrates. We know refined carbohydrates, foods such as pasta, bagels, white breads, and cereals. We know those refined carbohydrates have a significant hit to your insulin. And when you are carrying more than 20, 30, 50 pounds of extra weight around, your insulin is probably not as efficient as it should be. So, one ninja power move is just to get like a MyFitnessPal app or a Chronometer app
Mhm.
and get an idea of what your carbohydrate intake is actually. So just to put it into context, 50 grams of carbs is pretty much 1 cup of spaghetti.
Mhm.
Okay. So if you're having 50 grams of carbs, and most people who are highly addicted to carbohydrates are spiking their insulin all day long, and they're unable to actually lose weight. So it's not about being on the treadmill for 10 hours. You're never going to get down to your fat stores and be able to lose weight. It's going to be very difficult unless you reduce the amounts of refined carbohydrates. So 50 grams of carbs, if you can try to get to 50 grams of carbs in total throughout all your meals throughout the day, if you think about vegetable carbs, a whole plate of spinach, maybe 20 grams of carbs. But compared to a whole bagel, which is like 50 grams of carbs. So think about it. So do you want the bagel that's 50 grams of carbs, or do you want 20 grams of, a plate of green leafy vegetables? What do you think is going to be actually healthier for you? So my nutrition program, weight loss program, is really about nutritional weight loss, really being able to eat nutrient dense foods to help you reset your hormones and be able to get better sugar balance.
Love it. Oh my gosh, love it. And if I can interject for a moment. So the pancreas, right? The pancreas makes insulin. So what is insulin? So if we can all visualize insulin, it's like you're in New York City, right? You're hailing a taxi. So when we eat those carbs, right, or sugar and things like that, or the pastas, what happens is that the sugar is hailing a taxi, and a taxi comes in and it's insulin. The sugar gets into the insulin carries it to a place where it needs to be broken down. But sometimes if we're overweight, it's going to just shove it to wherever it can, like maybe the arteries, maybe the fat cells, right? And the pancreas is like shooting out all this insulin or these taxis because there's so many carbs coming in. The body is not used to that. Our DNA has not changed that much since we were cave people. We've been Homo sapiens have been here for 300,000 years. Our DNA has not changed that much. So all this processed food and extra carbs, not eating more plant-based food, it confuses our body still. And that's why I wanted to just stop, because there's an epidemic of diabetes in our country. And not even in our country, in the world. And so I'm really grateful that you talk about insulin and that you also are very well versed in the hormones as well. And, your weight loss programs, you have helped people lose up to like 100 pounds, right?
Yes, I have. Yeah. And it's amazing. And losing 100 pounds is pretty serious. I mean, they're in a morbid, very high risk obesity rate. Just being able to start in the process of changing your habits over time, it is totally possible to do this naturally without doing gastric bypass surgeries or dangerous interventions like that. You could just do this by moving your body and actually eating nutrient-dense foods that your body needs to rebuild your hormones and to actually get back to resetting your hormones. Whereas if you've been on a high carbohydrate, high sugar diet, your body is not really reading that information as nutrition. Your body is reading that as empty nutrition. What did Dr. Mark Hyman said? Americans are overfed and undernourished. I mean, that is so true. And we have such an epidemic of type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is totally treatable,
Yeah. And it's so important to start as soon as possible with that. And I know that you help people and guide them one-on-one, and also you do the group coaching. I know you're going to bring this up later, but you have something coming up, and I wanted to mention it right now, which is the 90-day Unstoppable Health. And that's to help people with weight loss, because we really have to look at it as a health crisis, right? eating poorly, gaining weight, and also lots of other issues that go on. Because for me, I'm a big gut and brain person. And that's what I think connected me so much to you, Tina, because whatever is happening in your gut, whatever we're putting into the intestinal system, we've got 25, 27 feet of intestines. If they're not breaking down the food correctly and it's just storing it as fat cells, right? He is confused. It doesn't know what to do. But it's a health crisis also for our children, kids, the food that we have in the school system. So I'm just grateful that you're doing that. And and your weight loss group coaching starts April 19th through June 20th. So if anyone's on here who wants to do that, I know you're going to talk about it again later, but I just wanted to stick that in because I think it's really life-saving, the work that you do, Tina.
Yeah, during the 90-day program, it's pretty much a pre-summer program, and you will have the tools of what to eat, what not to eat, and we'll be measuring and tracking you along the way. And there will be an exercise component to it as well, so you have options to move your body. And the thing is, this is a lot of the work, a lot of the protocols and the programming that I do privately with one-on-one clients. I offer that in a group coaching format, which is awesome because what people love is the accountability of their peers. And once they see somebody else, making progress, it's motivating. So it's really fun, and it's a really great way to establish some habits long term. It's not a diet. It's literally about changing your habits long term and really knowing what to eat to lose weight in a very healthy manner. Yeah. So and that's my whole personal story too, is I'm doing this because in midlife I'm very much interested in helping people turn their health around before it's too late. There's been too many stories. My personal story with my dad, who had taken care of, who had terminal stage 4 cancer for 10 years. Very close friends of mine who have been gung-ho high achievers, making lots of money and being successful, but putting their health on the back seat. So if this is you, my program is totally for you, because we're going to reprogram your mindset and habits so that you have better control, that you are not putting your health in the back seat, and that you're not putting it on hold. Because if you're in your 40s, 50s, and 60s, this is the time to do it.
Yes. So, yay. So excited. Good job.
Yeah.
So what's the number 3?
Yeah. So I forgot one thing about the mindful eating piece is, aside from just chewing your food and putting your fork down and breathing, no multitasking, not eating in front of the television or your computer. And it is so hard for people to turn things off. But it is so critical, because you're raising your consciousness about how you're taking care of yourself, how you're loving yourself through the foods that you're eating. And when you raise your consciousness, you make different kinds of decisions. So I forgot to add that part on the Ninja Power 1, Ninja Power Move 1.
And may I add also, when I went to Europe, I remember everyone had not everyone, but where I went, they had fresh flowers on the table, and everyone sat down, and there was sometimes music playing. So for people who always eat in front of the TV, that's also a little bit of an option, just playing some nice, gentle music or whatever kind of music that soothes you. That actually slows down that energy system in the body so that we can rest and digest, because we're eating, and some of us are in the sympathetic nervous system, which is fight, flight, freeze. Hurry up, I gotta eat. I gotta go to work. I gotta go to this, gotta pick up the kids. I gotta, all that stuff. And that's fight, flight, freeze. But when we slow down, like you're saying, Tina, and we put the fork down and we eat consciously, sitting also, because the brain doesn't supposedly, I remember reading this a long time ago, and I don't know if you agree, but sitting down sends signals to the brain that you're eating. But if you're standing up and eating, the brain is kind of like a little confused. And so you're actually going to feel fuller when you eat slower, liquefy the food, and
Mhm.
then not you're not distracted. So yes, thank you so much for bringing that up, Tina. I appreciate
Yeah, throughout the year, I offer a course called Eating as a Meditation, and I get into all the five senses,
that. Mm,
surroundings, and what it, and last summer, I ran the program, and one of the group participants came to shared a picture in the group, and she was eating her lunch at work on her blue Wedgwood china. And I was like, that is so awesome, because it was a statement of, I am taking an act of nourishment and self-care in such a bold and powerful way, just in terms of where my food is presented, how my food is presented. So
yes, and people who know me, when they come over to my house to eat, I always have candles on.
I love that. Me too.
I learned that from an Irish couple that I grew up watching. They had 11 children. They
Mm.
fed them, and then they would send them off to bathe. They would bathe each other, the kids, the oldest kids, and they would sit there and beautiful candles, and they would sit and eat. Their house was a wreck, right? Why wouldn't it be with 11 kids? But they sat down quietly and put out these candles. I was like, oh my gosh, this is, and so because of them, I always put candles on. For me, it connects me to spirit, right? To my beautiful, the connection with mindset, to beauty. So yes. Oh, I'm so glad we're bringing all this up.
I know, I love it. I love it. Yeah, there's a lot of Buddhist teachings that I bring into my mindfulness practices for my clients through my group work and also the one-on-one work. And so, beauty and presence and spirituality is a big part of it. And then, so Power Ninja move 3 is sleep hygiene. So how many people are not getting enough sleep and waking up, not refreshed and still tired? So sleep hygiene is so important. And if you are having difficulty getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep, I just want you to know this is one of the major ninja power moves for accelerating fat loss and really getting your health and energy back on a daily basis. It's not just about, it's about resetting your body. It's about refreshing all the things that we've done throughout the day to actually be hard on ourselves in terms of stress, in terms of physical activity, whatever it might be. Even emotional stress, translates into physical stress. And that nighttime is truly, truly about resetting your entire body. It's a reboot. And so that 7 to 8 hours is really, really critical. And those people who spend more time sleeping at night straight through have higher likelihood of success in losing weight, losing body fat. Those people who are up till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and only getting 4 to 6 hours of sleep have much more difficulty because their brain is saying they're tired. And then that's when they gravitate towards junk, okay? Because they want empty energy. They need that energy. So that's so super important. And part of sleep hygiene is, being able to have lights out completely, no television while you're sleeping, half asleep, the television in the room. That makes me crazy when people are, they have their television on timers, but your brain is listening. Your brain is like watching, subconsciously listening to all that while you even have your eyes closed. So you're not really getting the true rest that you need. And also, temperature, being comfortable in temperature, not too hot and not too cold. Typically at night, our body temperatures cool down, right? So to actually, it cools down, but you don't want to over insulate either, because you're actually, you're eliminating while you're sleeping as well. Right. So you're burning through, you're eliminating sweat and perspiration and oxygen while you're sleeping. And so the sleep hygiene piece is so important, like taking a nice bath or a hot shower before you go to sleep. If you take baths, taking a Epsom salt bath, which is wonderful for you to decompress, your muscles and your and even using aromatherapy at night, like lavender and things like that actually can relax you. Having a wind down routine is so important. And most people, they eat dinner, an hour later they're into bed, they're on their phone, they're watching TV, and really they're doing this for another hour before they go to sleep. And so they've got a lot of stuff on their mind still before they actually get into bed. There's no peace that they're getting into bed. There's no preparation. So
Right.
sleep hygiene is so important. And taking the steps to really wind it down before your head hits the pillow.
Yes, and I'm so glad you brought that up. There are many of my patients are having such difficult times sleeping, and so I love that you brought up the sleep hygiene. Another thing I recommend, and I used to have difficulty sleeping a couple of years ago. I start to turn off the lights around the house about an hour before, and I start to put a little candle on or a small, tiny little lamp that I have next to the bed. And I don't use a bright light when I'm cleansing my face or brushing my teeth. I use a smaller light in the bathroom. So I start to signal to my brain that, the circadian rhythm is something that I'm going to honor. It's been dark for a long time, but I really didn't want to go to sleep at 8 o'clock. So now it's 9 o'clock and I'm going to start to lower the lights around the house. I'm also going to put something on that's really comfortable. So a lot of people, it's really important to find good comfy pajamas. And also people are using now weighted blankets. From anxiety, for example, the weighted blanket is really helping a lot. And then I also offer a bit of twisting the body before you go to sleep. I get on the floor and I do some yoga twisting or just, knee to chest and then twisting, anything like that.
Right.
Hips there, and then just twisting the body. So twisting takes out toxins from the body. And so it's also good to do, but the deep breathing while you're stretching and twisting before you go to sleep is a life changer for me. It's been so good. So I never go to bed until I'm on the floor doing a little bit of twisting, stretching my legs, and just taking some deep breaths. And then the one last thing two last things I do, if there's something that I'm worried about, I write it down on a little sticky note next to the bed. And I'm not going to think about this tonight because it's going to be there in the morning and I can pick it up and read it tomorrow morning. There's actually a quick little story that I share with my patients who have a lot of difficulty sleeping and also have anxiety. The story is that there was this man who he would pull into his driveway and lean over and touch the branch of a tree. And his neighbor would watch him do this every single day. And finally he goes, "Hey, dude, how come you're doing this every single day? You're leaning over, touching the branch, and then you go inside." And he says, "Because I've got so many issues at work and so many things are going on in my life. When I enter my home, I want it to be a peaceful, loving place. So I can share something with my wife maybe later on. But when I come in, I want to be free of all those worries and those questions and those issues and those problems. So I give it to the tree before I go home. Before I go inside." And so I found that fascinating. And then he said, "And what you don't see is when I come out of the house in the morning, I reach over to the branch. I take back all those worries and questions and issues and problems, and they are much less heavier. And they're not as many." So that's what I did before I go to sleep. And I share that with everyone. You just write something down on a sticky note, like you're giving it to the branch of the tree, and you'll just wake up in the morning. They're still going to be there probably, or maybe not. Maybe you'll have this wonderful revelation that it's not there anymore, or you found the solution to the worry, right? So that's
exactly right. That problem is still going to be there in the morning. No matter how much your brain is crunching overnight, it doesn't matter. It's not going to change anything. It's not going to solve it. by the morning.
Exactly. So the and for me, sleep, like you said, it helps for weight loss and just for general health, but also sleep is a holy time. So for me, it's a holy time. It's a place where we can return to the subconscious, which runs our life 95% of the time, right? We just go back in and we're just there, and we just are present with the holiness of sleep. And so that was a big game changer for me as well. And then I also read one or two things, maybe like a sentence or two of something inspirational that I always have by my bedside table. I love Marianne Williamson's A Return to Love. I always have it there, but Dr. Wayne Dyer's books, Power of Intention, Inspiration, all those books are just so uplifting and beautiful to just read a sentence before you go to sleep. And it's a message. It's a message to be at peace and be in oneness, right? With love, with peace, with joy, oneness with God, universe also. So that I just love that we were able to talk about this. I am so grateful. We did it, Tina. We did it. 30 minutes. So please tell everybody your 90-day unstoppable health. And is a group coaching program for weight loss. So that starts when again?
It's on April 19th. It's a 90-day group coaching program, and you'll be in a private group. And basically, if you're interested in losing 20 pounds, this is for you. Over 90 days to get some pounds down before the summer, get some inflammation down, reprogram how you eat and how you nourish yourself. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And this is a proven program that I've done with my one-on-one clients as well as group coaching clients. So you will absolutely lose weight without having to have, unnatural intervention. So this is going to be really fun, and you will definitely enjoy it. Yeah. So that starts April 19th. And one way to check in about that is you could, I'm asking for applications. So I'm doing a health intake on every single person to see if they qualified for the program. And so you could, set up book a one-on-one complimentary, absolutely free 60 minutes with me at bit.ly/unstoppable health. And you will have 60 minutes. I'll give you a health scorecard, weight loss scorecard during our discussion. And we'll discuss if this program is for you.
Wonderful. Beautiful. So just another little, I'm going to share our little, a little flyer there. So everybody, please register for the womenshealthforum.org. It's going to be April 21st at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. And we're going to have 5 panelists. And as you can see, Tina Hong is going to be one of them. So we are so excited. And next week, we're going to have our last panelist, Dr. Devin Miles, and she is a doctor of naturopathy. So I'm excited about having Dr. Miles here with us, and she'll be our last panelist interview. And then the following week, we actually do it. So register for the womenshealthforum.org, because in order to participate in it and to ask your question, you have to register, because it's not a public. So all these interviews that I've been doing is to share these amazing panelists. But that day, it's going to be a private session where women can ask questions, any kind of questions of the 5 of us. And I created this in 2017. And for the first time, we're going to have it virtually and globally. And I'm excited because women have, we as women, we need to know what other things are out there to help us to heal ourselves, right? So medicine is so incredibly important for us. Our beautiful doctors and nurse practitioners and nurses and physician's assistants, what would we do without them? But there's also another world, a holistic alternative world that we can also incorporate, right, with our beautiful medicine that a lot of people are not aware of. So women, since we are the main caregivers of our families, we have to keep ourselves healthy. We have to care and love ourselves, because if we don't do it, then who's going to do it? Right, Tina?
Exactly.
We got, as my mom and grandma always said, and I say it in my book as well, your body, mind, and spirit are holy. Treat them like that, treat them like that. You only get one body. That's it, just one. All right, everybody. So peace and love to everyone. Tina, thank you so much for sharing your wonderful wisdom with us and for giving us your time. I love you, and we will see you April 21st.
Thank you, Jackie. Thanks, everybody.
Yay. Bye-bye.
Bye.